Anekantavad. Oh wait, I figured out how to pronounce that. Kantavad. Anekantavad, I think that's how it is. Anekantavad. He's talking about a hallucinatory experience. If he's on some mind-altering, if he's in a mind-altered situation, you know, psychedelic drug, it could be anything though. In fact, it applies to your regular situation in which you have all kinds of brain chemistry going on contributing to your perceptions. I mean, maybe when you put two human eyes on something, it always looks like it's melting, but the brain just goes, well, of course it's not really melting. That's just a visual artifact, and it subtracts it. Maybe that's really how it quote unquote looks before processing. But anyway, the problem here, or the issue, or whatever that I think is the most important, is the language. The language is rigged against talking about perception and the reality of an experience, you know, because it's always like, well, what was the real experience? We're looking for one, and this is a perfect example of there isn't a one. It's a whole cycle, right? You know, we need a more careful language. So, for example, one way of locking down language is to go, well, whatever you saw, it didn't actually look like your face melting, because that's not what it looks like when a face melts. For example, there's more screaming, right? Now, that's not the way you should look at the language. It's one sense you should understand. Okay? Right? Now, on the other hand, he's trying to make this point that, well, he experienced something. Let's not call it face melting. Let's call it face distortion. He saw this face distortion, this general visual distortion. And we're saying, well, did you really experience that? Well, again, I could try to nitpick and go, well, the face wasn't distorted. Okay, I saw my images, visual space distorted. Did you see that? Yes. If you break down to narrow enough language, you get to that other node where he's talking about, well, I experienced the qualia I experienced, whether they were justified, whether they just were random, whether cosmic rays fired off parts of my brain, or whether I really saw something, whether I misinterpreted, whatever, I experienced what I experienced. Right, but see, my definition of material is such that it's supposed to address this, right? Right? You know, which facts mattered. But I was also just going to say, what about this situation? What about the guy, he took that LSD, so he knows he's going to hallucinate, or he suspects that he might hallucinate. What about that? What's that guy see? Because he's seeing that distorted face, or the face melting, and he's going, well, I'm having a hallucination. So is his experience more or less accurate than somebody who goes, oh my God, everything's melting, if, you know, forgets they're on their trip where that's what they were trying to see. We need language that pinpoints all of these different meanings of what real and what is true and what happened and what's material.